All right, everyone, welcome back. It is episode 12 of the Gridiron Pulse. And we've missed several NBA playoffs games, some really good and some really bad since we've last spoken. The Cavs took one, and then they got 150 piece by the Pacers last night, kind of like how OKC did Denver in that one. And then Denver won in overtime on that same day off of a not so great Jokic performance. It seems like he's getting almost burnt out. It seems like past two games he's played pretty terrible.
Yo- Jokic is ready to take that PTO.
He's ready to go back and ride some horses and
Yeah.
probably gamble an extreme amount of money on them.
Yeah, like you said, Denver won in OT. I think it was on Friday. I
Friday.
think, yeah, Friday. Jokic didn't have a good game, but supporting cast really helped him out. And then yesterday it was a closer game, thankfully, rather than the other game we're gonna talk about here in a minute. But OKC won by 5. SGA 25 points, Jokic 27 points. This game was really all about runs. I know OKC went on a little run at the end of the game to basically kind of seal it. Um, so series is now tied 2-2 going back to OKC. So we shall see what happens on in game 5.
Yeah, other than that one outlier, that's been probably the most consistent series so far. I mean, OKC did put up 150 in one game, but we don't really have to talk about that because it was super boring, and I'm pretty sure none of us watched it. But yeah, the game yesterday was pretty solid, and then the one on Friday went into overtime, so that was a good one. I like the whole Westbrook dynamic when he's guarding SGA. Just kind of what the announcer said. He was in his chest like bronchitis. I was like, dude, that's that's hard.
Mark
That's
Jones.
line. Yeah, that was a good one. And then we obviously got to talk about our boy, the Ant Man, Minnesota going up 2-1 since we said they got to win all these games basically without Curry and keep knocking on wood, but they have been. It's been nice to watch. On Saturday night, let's see, Ant had he had 30, 36, 5 of 14 from 3. It's not terrible. He was kind of shot chucking in the beginning, but he was able to find his footing there toward the fourth quarter. He hit a couple big ones for sure. Randall had a triple double, 24, 10, and 12. Very good game. Pretty low percentage from three, 1 for 6, not bad, but they were able to overcome Jimmy Butler and Robin, I guess. Buddy Hield, Alfred, Butler, Robin. That's, that whole dynamic that they got going on right there is kind of weird, but Jimmy had 33, 7, and 7, really good percentages, shot about 50% from the field and from three. I mean, he's been really good without Curry, but he's had to be to even keep him close.
Yeah, Jonathan Kuminga had 30 points off the bench for the Warriors, which I don't know if you guys go on NBA Twitter a lot, but the whole running meme is that uh, Steve Kerr doesn't play Jonathan Kuminga a lot, and all the Warriors fans think that he has like insane talent. So that's like the whole like big meme on NBA Twitter. But I thought Golden State played really well without Steph. I mean, obviously getting 33 from Jimmy Butler. I mean, we know what he does in the playoffs, and then getting 30 off the bench for Kuminga is huge. Buddy Hield again, sharpshooter, but in the end, Timberwolves came out with the dub. Ant had a good bounce back game from game two. I thought. Really didn't have a good like shooting percentage performance, but he made the shots that Minnesota needed. Like you said, Jacob, Julius Randle triple double. That's obviously gonna help a ton. Um, it's really funny. You would think that Rudy Gobert would be kind of dominating this series. Really hasn't. Uh, he had 9 points, 13 rebounds. That's pretty much all you're gonna get from Gobert. Is not really offensive guy, but a guy that you can count on getting some rebounds and stuff like that. Good all around good all-around game by Minnesota. They definitely needed to win this one. I probably would feel pretty nervous if Golden State went up 2-1, but I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable with my Minnesota pick here.
I agree with that one as well. Cole, you got anything?
Yeah, where do we think Rudy Gobert's random 30-30 game against the Lakers is going to rank among all-time random, like, amazing games of all time? You know, because when I think of random amazing games, I think of Malachi Flynn dropping 50 a few years ago, and then he just didn't score more than 10 points like the rest of his career. Like, or Corey Brewer scoring dang near 60 for the Rockets back in like 2014 or something. I'll give Rudy Gobert credit. He's a little bit more established than some of those guys. He's been in the league multiple time defensive player of the year, but I don't know if we'll ever see Rudy Gobert touch close to 30 points ever again.
If they do, it's going to be against a team like the Lakers or the Warriors, which I mean, I feel like Minnesota's gotten kind of lucky with these matchups because they're two of like the smallest teams in the NBA. That's like playing against the Hawks. Like we don't have a guy over 6'10", which is, and it's Capella, and he's a bench rider now, apparently. Now that Okongwu, who I've been clamoring for this for a while, Okongwu should not be our starting center. He's a
Yeah.
power forward. He's not big. I mean, I get it. He's lanky with long arms and he can jump out of the gym, but he's not big enough to be consistently like down in the paint, just mashing people for boards like what a center should be, I think.
Yeah, just kind of piggybacking off that, I agree with you. I think Onyeka is more of a four than a center. I mean, he's just too small to be a starting center, which I think the Hawks should definitely go out and get a center or draft one in this upcoming draft. But uh, just wanted to comment on that about Onyeka.
And we got the other game from yesterday. The Pacers kind of blew out the Cavs. Super boring. They were up by 41 points at halftime. They ended up bringing it within 20, but I got one of those notifications. It was like Darius Garland is heating up. He has 8 straight, and at the bottom it was like cuts the lead to 35 or something like that. It was one of those, and Chris Paul cuts a three to hit the lead to cut the lead to 42.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was 6 or 7 Pacers were in double figures. And yeah, I mean, it's not like any one player on the Pacers had like 40 and that was that blew them out. It was just an overall team
They
effort
had
by the Pacers.
7 players in double figures, and their highest scorer was Siakam with 21.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, Halliburton 11 5 and 5 and you know, it's going to be tough for the Cavs. You know, you go down 3-1 and especially losing by 20 in this game. Um, it's going to be tough, and more it's looking like the Cavs are going to be the 2016 Hawks. So, well,
I was kind of thinking about that earlier today too. The 2016 Hawks at least made the conference finals
that's true.
and lost to LeBron on Cleveland, which is, I mean, it was arguably one of the better teams of all time with Kevin Love and Dwayne Wade being that big three. But are the Cavs even going to live up to the 2015-16 Hawks? They
Uh,
had a better record in the regular season too. Hawks won, I think we won 60 games, maybe 61.
yeah,
I think we
it's like
got
low
to
60s.
60. Yeah.
I just remember like we didn't lose a game in January or something like
Yeah.
that. Like, we went a whole month of winning
Couple
games.
crazy streaks.
Yeah.
We had that Damari Carroll, Al Horford, Jeff T. Just Paul Millsap, kind of just like the most random collection of players that definitely went on and had either better careers somewhere else, or we were just highlighting the twilight of their career, I guess. But that was an interesting team. I couldn't say I expected them to win 60 games coming into the season, but definitely overperformed expectations, a lot like these Cavs have.
Yeah, you know, throwback to when Hawks basketball was fun to watch. Um,
Yeah, it was
yeah,
definitely fun to watch. I guess we
Well,
can kind of look ahead. What's that, Cole?
I was gonna say the last time the Hawks were genuinely fun to watch was the year where, um,
21.
I still am fully convinced of this. If that ref doesn't get under Trey Young's foot, we dang near might win the NBA Finals that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giannis was already hurt on the Bucks too.
And
So
we were
he
up
was
2-1 in that series.
we were up 2-1. Giannis was already hurt. And
Only
yeah,
pain here.
that
Only
was
pain.
tough. Pain. It was painful for sure. And the one series that we haven't really talked about kind of feels like it's shifting the other way as to what we thought. The Celtics took game 3 against the Knicks pretty handily on Saturday afternoon, 115-93 in Madison Square Garden. We actually get game 4 of that tonight, which is going to be awesome. I'm still sticking with the Celtics, man. I mean, it's really hard to go against one of the best teams in the NBA that has that playoff experience and that championship pedigree. It's tough as a Hawks fan and as just like a general basketball fan because you're either a fan of these teams or you just generally hate them. Like I know me and Carter talked about both of these fan bases being absolutely insufferable when these two teams are playing, but it definitely seems like it's shifting in the Celtics' favor. They're 6.5 points favorite tonight on the road in MSG. That one's at 7:30, so that'll be a good one. And then we also get game 4 of Minnesota Golden State later on.
Yeah, looking forward to watching some hoops, but if I'm a Knicks or Celtics fan, I just looking at the tickets, you probably gonna have to take out a loan to go to this game. I think like the lowest ticket I see right now is like $500, which is just insane to me. Uh, I would much rather spend no money and watch on my couch than pay $500 to go to a playoff game. Don't
Go
like,
watch your team get run out of the building.
yeah, I think the Celtics are gonna win this game. I wouldn't say pretty easily like how they did last game. I think it'll be close, but um I think the Celtics are gonna win, and then I think if the Celtics were to win this game tonight, it's GG's to the Knicks because they're gonna go on a run if they win tonight, and then Minnesota Golden State at 10 tonight. Minnesota 5.5 point favorite at Golden State. Um, Again, like I said, I think Minnesota. I wouldn't say should, but I think they probably will win tonight. Just again, that injury to Steph Curry is really gonna hurt the Warriors with obviously not having the best shooter of all time on playing on your team. Um, I expect a big game from Ant. I expect another big game from Julius Randle, and I think Rudy Gobert is gonna have another 15 rebound game. I think the Warriors are gonna maybe start getting a little bit desperate and start shot chucking threes. I think Minnesota has all the momentum on their side, so give me the Timberwolves tonight and give me the Celtics tonight.
Yeah, I mean I think it's gonna be I mean it's obviously crucial for you to win in the playoffs, but more so for the Timberwolves tonight, I think, because you win this game, you go up 3-1, and I've been seeing reports that game 6 has been Curry's like kind of target date to come back. So if you go up 3-1, then regardless if Curry comes back, you're in the driver's seat. But if they tie this series 2-2 and they won without Curry and they have Steph coming back, that is all the momentum back onto the Warriors side. So I, I it could be very easy for the Timberwolves to kind of see themselves being up 2-1. They already took one back in Golden State's arena and that they're going back home, but crucial for them to get this win because if Curry comes back with it 2-2, that is not going to be good for them. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that big time. Rudy, we don't need 30 points and 30 rebounds. We need 15 and 15. Cut it in half and let us have it. That would be pretty nice for sure. They definitely have the stronger supporting cast, I think, but the Jonathan Kuminga coming into his own in the last game. Is he going to be able to recreate that? I don't think he's got 30 in the bag every night. Buddy Hield might. He'll probably have a better game, but I think you can kind of just set that Jonathan Kuminga performance as like a one-off, random 30 point scorer in the playoffs, like Cole was talking about earlier. I also think the Celtics are probably going to run away with this one. I don't necessarily see it losing or winning by 20 or 25 like they did last game, but the only games that they've lost in this series were arguably the two worst games that they've played as a team the entire year. And they've been up by more than 20 points in all three games, regardless of if they brought it home or not. They have shown the ability to be able to blow someone out, at least in a half. So if you blow someone out in a half, just don't implode in the second half. And seems like they'll be in the driver's seat of this series for sure. If they get it back to 2-2 going back to Boston, I don't think they go back to MSG for a game 7. Or no, does it go? It goes 1-1, 1-1. That's right.
Yeah.
So I think they'll close it out in game 6 probably. I know we said it on the show the other day. They were the Celtics have the best road record in the NBA, and it was one of the better ones it was the best one in Celtics team history, if I'm remembering correctly. So I think that's all we got there on the NBA playoffs. And then we have an unfortunate team that we have to talk about that we're all unfortunately fans of. As you notice, I'm not wearing my Braves hat today. That was by choice because we just lost a series to the Pittsburgh Pirates, and we avoided all three of their best pitchers. So we played their 4, 5, and 6 starter, and we were only able to win on Saturday, and it took us 11 innings. But I do have a funny stat about that. Since they've kind of made the uh, overtime innings start at with a runner on second, the Braves have the highest winning percentage in the MLB, and it's not even really close. We win like 80% of our games that go into extra innings, which I think is just hilarious. I think we're 3-0 or 4-0 this year. Maybe 4-1. I don't know if we've lost one in extra innings yet, but I know we got the Reds twice. And then the Pirates, those have all been within a week. So I think that was definitely an interesting stat. We just need a free runner on second because nobody wants to get on base. So it kind of makes sense when you look at it that way. But the Braves have just been struggling lately. On Friday, we lost 3-2. Saturday, we won 3-2. And Sunday, we lost 4-3. So they've all just been one-run losses. Just some of the most painful baseball if you chose to watch those games. I'm sorry. I watched a little bit of the one on Saturday, but that's it.
Yeah, tough watch this weekend. I watched all three of these games. It's really frustrating to lose a series to the Pirates when you avoid Paul Skeens, Jared Jones, two arguably probably two of the best young pitchers in MLB right now. I think I read a stat. When the Braves have a chance to go to 500, they're 0-5 in those games, which they had they had a few this weekend, but you know, uh, the Braves they're probably one of the weirder teams to figure out this year. I mean, like a few games they'll look like world beaters, and then like prime example of this series on the weekend they'll just look like they're playing like a double A team. Like it just doesn't make any sense. Like most inconsistent offense in baseball. Still not 500 or above. Still below 500. 19-21. 6.5 games out of first. Um, I wouldn't say like the season is doomed, but it's not looking great. And I haven't really checked the wild card standings because I just think it's pointless to do in May. I mean, obviously the Braves could turn around their season in a couple weeks. I mean we saw them do it in the World Series year where they didn't even get above 500 until I think August or something like that. So they could easily turn the season around, but it's been a very very sluggish start to the year. 40 games in. Um, I hope Acuna helps out this offense because good lord do they need it. It's just been so inconsistent, still pretty bad with runners in scoring position. Really I thought that we were gonna get swept. I mean they barely beat the Pirates on Saturday in extras, but I don't know, just very, very frustrating. You're getting a gift of a of a schedule right now with the Reds, Pirates, Nationals. You should at least take, I guess, like lose at least 2 games um, in those series. But just very frustrating. I hope Acuna is finally the missing piece that helps this offense, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, not much more on my end. You guys kind of touched on pretty much everything. The only thing, I guess I'll come in here and be a little bit of the optimist here. So this kind of feels familiar. Braves that they're hovering around 500. They just can't get to 500. It's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The year that we won the World Series, if you remember, that was the exact same vibes going into the All Star break. It was back and forth, back and forth. We just couldn't get to 500. Now I'm not saying that we can do it. I'm not saying that we're going to win the World Series this year, but I'm just saying that we've been here before. And it took a miracle at the deadline for Anthopoulos to do it. And I'm not saying he's going to do it again, but um, yeah, we still have some pretty favorable matchups coming up. Washington, Boston, Washington. So Ozzy Albies is 0 for his last 22, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty rough. What's the record? Is it I don't want to put this in
19
the
and
universe.
21.
What's that?
Our record's 19 and 21.
No. What's the record for like? I know Chris Davis holds the record for like most consecutive like at bats without a hit.
Oh, it's like 60 something.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
know. I was just curious about that, but
it's bad.
yeah, um, still hovering around 500, and still optimistic that we go on a run here coming up. So
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to be one to say it's over when your best player definitely should be getting assigned to a rehab assignment here pretty soon. I was hoping by next episode we might be able to talk about that if he has at least been assigned to double A or triple A. But even kind of the uncertainty out of that part of the camp is not super galvanizing either. I mean, it's just like we get like 2 updates within a 2 day span, then like we won't hear about him for another 3 weeks. But they've been saying mid May, hopefully, which is right now. He should be starting a rehab assignment. Doesn't have to go back to LA to see the doctor anymore. But that's got to be like that punch that we need. And I was gonna say, I think Ozzy's got to go. It's He's got 1 year left on his deal, and he's been one of the worst players in baseball for almost a calendar year, along with Michael Harris. I'm not saying Money Mike's got to go because he's still super young and we have him on a pretty cheap deal. Ozzy's deal's almost up. If we can ship him for anything, any value whatsoever at the deadline, I think it would be absolutely worth it. We never face lefties, it seems like, and he can only hit lefties. Either try something different or just go. He's been bad for a long time. He's not a plus on the defensive side either. He's not bad by any means, but outs above average is pretty mid, kind of along with the rest of everyone. I want to see him like try batting right-handed only, stop playing switch hitter. That would be something. I mean, whatever it is, it's not working. It hasn't been working for a minute.
I don't. I'm not one of those people who thinks uh that the Braves need to get rid of Ozzy. I just think the whole team's really. I wouldn't say they've been in a slump. They just been pretty mid when it comes to the offensive production. I don't know. I think even with Ozzy dealing with injuries, I think he's still like top 10 second baseman in baseball. So I just think, like you said, Jacob, I think he should fully switch to right-handed and stop doing the switch hitting because I mean, the stats back it up. He's a better right-handed hitter than left-handed hitter. So I don't know if the Braves will ask him to do that. I'm just gonna assume no because Snicker just falls asleep during games. So I don't think that the Braves will ask Ozzy to permanently bat right-handed, but I think that's definitely a possibility that I think the Braves should should seek if Ozzy still goes a couple more games without getting a hit. Just to at least try and turn something around. I mean, if that doesn't work, then I really don't know what the Braves would do. I don't know. I don't see them trading Ozzy. I just think he's too valuable to the core that's there now.
We're unfortunately entering the part where he is not necessarily part of the young core anymore. He's he's got two club options after this year, but I mean, he's not under contract anymore. This is the last year of his deal with two club options. I get it. He's probably gonna uptick everything whenever Acuna comes back because that's his guy. They're like best friends and all that. I'm sure that's got to help some kind of morale. But this is a really ugly baseball savant page. This is this is bad. This is a negative to the team. He's not a plus second baseman. No way in hell he's been a top 10 second baseman for the last calendar year. It's been really bad. I own an Ozzy Albies jersey. This is not easy to think about or talk about, but I unfortunately think is the truth. I mean, it's bad. This is his contract situation over here. If I can figure out how to share this one. It's yeah, I mean he's got a $7 million club option next year and a $7 million club option the year following. If we can find value somewhere for him, I think we should. Are we going to? No, obviously not. We signed this team to be the core. We signed them when they were young and we got them all on relatively team friendly deals. But they're not young anymore. Ozzy's not young anymore. He's 28 years old. He's and he hasn't improved since essentially we played the World Series, which was kind of a long time ago now. Yeah, that's all I really got there. If you have any rebuttals.
What really sucks about it is that, like, when we signed Ozzy to that contract, like, even at that point, it was like, whoa, we just fleeced this man. Like, we signed him for what, like 7 years, $60 million, something like it was something crazy like that. And I mean, unfortunately to Ozzy, it's kind of worked exactly in the club's favor where we squeezed every bit of like his prime value in like his mid to early 20s. Like he was a five war player into
There's
2023.
7 years, 35 mil.
As
That
robbery.
is, I feel bad for him, but at the same time, it's like the the Braves. That's exactly what they were looking for. I mean, like I was just saying, in 2023, he was a five WAR player. I mean, that was his last great year. He hit 280. He slashed 280. He had a 513 slugging and an 850 OPS. He had 30 home runs, had above 100 RBIs. And then last year, even for his struggles, he was still at least a plus player. He was like a one and a half WAR player. Um, so I think it all depends. Like I have not even thought about this to be honest, which I guess it's just snuck up the end of his contract that quickly. It all depends on what his mindset is. So like it depends, of course, on how he finishes the year. But if he's out here demanding some crazy new contract because he's trying to make up for what he didn't get in like his prime like early years, then that's like where we're gonna probably have an issue because he, like you said, he's shown that he's not the same player. Now, again, like I said, it all depends on how he finishes the year. But there's going to be some tough conversation if Ozzy keeps doing what he's doing and then wants a big contract after this year.
Yeah.
I think
Uh,
he's probably knowing that he's not going to get
Yeah.
much. His best option is that if the Braves want to keep him for the next 2 years, keep getting $7 million a year. But I don't know. I love the guy. He was great in 2023. But so is the entire team. That was the one year we probably didn't need him to be great, and we still would have been great. But yeah,
I'm gonna be a conspiracy theorist here. I just it's crazy to me every time I look at the 2023 numbers, it's literally looking at a video game like an MLB The Show Dynasty. Like, and then just looking at the offense now, like I don't know if like baseballs were just like messed with in 2023, or the Braves just flat out cheated in
I was
2023.
gonna say, dude.
Because I've never seen a bigger fall off in offensive production like 2023 to now. I mean, still just can't, just for the life of me, just cannot get a hit with runners in scoring position. It's the most aggravating thing ever to watch. But I I really don't know like what happened in 2023. So
I've seen both sides of the argument, but every time I see that the Braves were cheating on Twitter, I'm just like, no, of course not. Why would we do that? We're not the trash stros. Like, come on. But then the baseballs being juiced definitely can be something. I mean, that seems to come and go now. Like every couple of weeks or months or specific teams. Like the media darlings get the juiced baseballs, but it definitely seems like they were juiced for the vast majority of the MLB in 2023. That's definitely if you can combine some banging on trash cans with some juiced baseballs, that might be how you get those numbers because it was unlike anything that we had ever seen. We watched a lot of those games together. That was when we were at UGA for that last year, but
yeah, I worked as an usher for the Braves during that year, and it was incredible. Just every night showing up, you're just expecting just to have a huge offensive production every single game. And I think the Braves fell like two or three homers short of like breaking the all-time record for most home runs in a season. But you know that again, that was probably I'm fortunate to have worked during that season because that was awesome. I mean, uh, all the records that were shattered, but yeah, it's crazy to me just looking at the 2023 stats and looking at the stats for this year and even last year too. I mean, just a huge fall off.
yeah, the biggest drop off was definitely from 23 to 24, but the fact that there's even a drop off from 24 to 25 Braves is definitely big time cause for concern. And that year we actually tied the home run record,
Mm.
307. I believe it was that wasn't that Guardians team?
It was the Twins.
Oh yeah, the Twins, 2019 Twins.
That was
Yeah.
a. I'm pretty sure 2019 was another juice ball
Yeah.
year. That was like a very famous juice ball year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. The 2019 Yankees are one behind with 306. 2019 Astros 288. 2019 Dodgers, that's
Yeah.
3, 4, and 5 on the list. Then it's
Who turned up the human power sliders?
yeah, I guess they did, dude. They big time did. Matt Olson hitting 54 that year was just one of the most fun things to watch. But
Man,
his fall off and the unluckiness of his just needs to be studied. He's been the most unlucky hitter in baseball for longer than a calendar year, since the start of last year.
I wouldn't say Matt Olson's fallen off. I just think he like you said, he's been the unluckiest hitter in baseball. I mean, still having great exit velocities on hits is just not getting hits. I mean, he's still a Gold Glove first baseman. He's made a lot of really good plays defensively this year. Just I don't. It's just like I get angry every time I see this on Twitter. Whenever people like compare Olson to Olson to Freeman, it's like those are two completely separate guys. I mean, and like I don't know. I get angry at our fan base because people just think that Olson's just a bum when he's not. He's still a very good player. I mean, is he Freddie Freeman? No, but he's still a really good replacement. And I think Olson gets way too much hate for no reason on Twitter.
So that's a good point you bring up about Olsen. So at least with Olsen's like stats that show up on the scoreboard, they're not great. He's hitting 224. He only has 7 home runs. But the more advanced analytics, OPS, like he still has a 769 OPS, which is still pretty good. He has a 116 OPS plus, which I'm pretty sure 100 is the baseline average, like MLB average OPS plus. So to your credit, he is barreling the ball and he's still hitting for power, even though it might not show up on the scoreboard or on like the stat sheet. So I still do think that Olsen's going to be in for a better year than what his stats are at least indicating right now. Because yeah, like you said, he just seems to be getting unlucky, and it's only a matter of time before he starts hitting a lot more bombs and those lineouts start turning into doubles.
I agree with both of you, but how long is it going to be? This is the unluckiest streak in baseball. Like, when does it turn from actually unlucky to maybe he's just not that good? Because I want him to be good more than anyone. I sat there and watched probably 52 out of his 54 home runs in that one year. And was just like, this is the best player in the history of baseball. Like, this is the best player to swing a wooden bat. And then it's just like ever since then is like the most unlucky player. It's like it's been almost 2 years now, guys. Like, when does unlucky and bad, like, when do they meet? Like, when does it start turning up like it's supposed to? Because it's been supposed to turn up for the last year and a half.
Yeah. I mean, last year, if we look at it, I mean, he was about in line with what he is as a player last year. I mean, last year he hit just below 250 and hit about 30 home runs, which when I think of Matt Olson, that's about what I think of as a stat line. Again, 2023 was, seems to be not an outlier, but a crazy, like, okay, yeah, he hit 280 and he hit almost 60 home runs and 150 RBIs. But I don't know if I'm just going to come to expect that out of him year in and year out, and more so just. And again, I think that's probably where he's going to end up this year. He's going to end up, around that 248 to 253 mark, and he's going to have about 30-ish home runs.
Another good thing about Olsen is that he takes a lot of pitches. Like I think he takes a lot of walks, which is nice. He's I think he's him and Ozuna I think still top of the league in walks this year. Um, so I think that's another good facet of Olsen's game is that for majority of the time, he's really patient. I mean, he still chases, but I think he draws a lot more walks, which obviously getting on base. I mean, it's great. I mean, if you can get on base anyway for anything. But no, I wouldn't. I still think he's still. I mean, unlucky. I think he's making really good contact with the baseball, but it's just like the old saying in baseball, and that's just baseball. I mean, it's a cruel sport. I mean, there's nothing more that Olsen can do if he's scoring out the ball, and it's
Like,
lineouts
dude,
or groundouts.
how is this hitting 220? That's just the one thing I don't understand about baseball by any means whatsoever.
It's a
How is
cruel,
this
cruel
hitting
sport.
220?
Cruel,
I don't
cruel sport.
I don't understand it at all. I mean, we obviously both, all three of us, want him to be great, and it's just painful watching him just line balls right at the shortstop or second baseman's forehead, and they're literally playing self-defense to not get killed by any of his batted balls. But I mean, this right here, how is this hitting 220? I just don't understand. Make it make sense, please.
And another thing about Matt Olson, I mean, he's going to play almost every single game. He's played 162 games 3 straight years. So we know that he's going to get plenty of at bats and he's going to have plenty of opportunities to turn it around. And I mean, I'm fully convinced he's going to end up doing it. I mean, last year he was a 3.8 WAR player. I mean, we see that. We see last year as like, okay, like yeah, he had a decent year. I mean, that's still a really good year, almost 4 WAR, and he's going to be right in line with that. So I think Matt Olson's the least of our concerns when it comes to the Braves.
Yeah, and right now him and Riley both have a 1 point or WAR, which is tied for the best on the team. So Olsen and Riley are not a concern at all. Same with Ozuna, even though he's in a little bit of a slump right now. Mainly for me, it's Ozzy, and then I'd say, I'll bring this up. I think Drake Baldwin deserves more at bats. I think he's swinging a really good bat right now. I mean, I think yesterday he had 2 hits, two of like the 5 Braves hits yesterday, and then I mean credit to Sean Murphy, but um, Snit took out Baldwin yesterday for Murphy, but I mean I can't really say too much because it worked. I mean Sean Murphy had a game tying double yesterday, but I think Snit needs to get Baldwin more at bats in the lineup. I think he's swinging a really good bat right now. He's won a few games for us. He's really good defensively. He's hitting above 300 right now, which if I'm the Braves, I'm giving this man any at bats possible because he again like this offense needs a spark some way or
Try him
another.
out in left field. I think the
Yeah,
Verdugo experience is over. He's won for
yeah,
his last 24 with no walks.
yeah. Get him out. I'm about It was fun while it lasted, but that dude just cannot get on base to save his life. Now I understand why Yankees fans said to be careful.
Yep. He's he's been pretty bad these last 2 or 3 series. I agree with you. I think Drake Baldwin needs to be an everyday player. Is he an everyday player at catcher? I don't know. Try him at left field because we're in a weird situation with Sean Murphy being probably the best, if not like top 3 best defensive catchers on or in baseball, and then we just might have the best hitting catcher in baseball besides maybe who Cal Raleigh, like
William Contreras.
William Contreras. Yeah,
Oh yeah, William Contreras.
still,
Did he used to play for the Braves?
Yeah,
Oh, that's crazy.
yeah, it's weird.
you know it's so
Yep.
funny. I still keep forgetting that we have Jerickson Profar.
Yeah, but do we though?
No.
If we if
I
we make
would.
the playoffs, he's not going to be able to play either.
Hey man, shout out Eli White. He's been balling out this year.
And then
I
when
would.
Acuna comes back, I think Eli White needs to get a try at shortstop. He
Yeah,
played shortstop in college all 4 years, or however long he was there.
I will say though, Nick Allen, even though that dude cannot swing or that dude cannot get a hit, he's a really good defensive shortstop, which is again same issue that Orlando Arcia
Higher
has.
batting average and OPS than Ozzy,
I was just about
by
to
the
say
way.
that, but I don't know. I mean, Nick Allen hasn't been terrible. I think he's still been light years better than Arcia. I mean, I'm pretty sure he had like 3 hits yesterday. So, I mean, he's not awful, but yeah, I mean, Eli White's been swinging a hot bat the whole season, so I definitely give him a start at short when Acuna comes back.
I think he would be the main in a platoon at short with Nick Allen. I wouldn't hate that whatsoever. With Drake Baldwin, Michael Harris, please start doing well, and then Acuna coming back.
And here's the thing that I would say this sucks the most about the Braves. It's
The hitting.
yes, that. But I'm talking more organizationally, okay?
Liberty
We've
Media.
ignored the fact that our farm system is the worst in baseball for a long time because we've been good and like our young talent, we locked them up for a long time. But like we've said, that young talent is starting to get out from contract. And we look at the MLB top 100 prospects. The Braves have one guy in the top 100, and he's not an MLB ETA until about 2028, it says.
Who is
So
it? Is it Richie?
J.R. Ritchie.
it's Cam Nitty.
That's a pitcher. I swear the
Is he?
Braves
He's
only
the
have.
pitcher. He's the only good pitcher that's one stop ahead of J.R. Ritchie, I think.
Yeah.
J.R. Ritchie is not on this list. And Cam Community is 73rd, and yeah, he's in rookie ball right now, and he's not projected to be the MLB until 2028. So yeah, we quite literally have no like emerging young talent to look forward to. Like, oh well, at least we have this prospect coming up. So yeah,
Trade Hurston Waltrip.
Yeah, that too. Didn't he play at Florida too? Bye.
Yeah. See you later, buddy.
Yeah, bye. Give us something in return. But yeah, I know. I've seen a lot of stuff from that J.R. Ritchie this past weekend. He got called up to Double A, so that would be pretty cool. He threw a Maddox, uh, what is it, a one hitter or no? Was it a no hitter?
I think it was one hitter.
He had one hit in less than 100 pitches in a complete game. That's pretty cool.
Crazy.
I know I've heard his name before, but yeah, it's kind of bleak coming up, and it seems like AA's hands have been tied by Liberty Media for the past 2 years, ever since we won the World Series and made all those off-season or trade deadline acquisitions. But we we got to get something moving. We need to revitalize the lineup, and I know everyone's gonna point to Acuna for sure. I don't know if it's gonna be enough, especially not early on, because even the last time he came back from his ACL, it took him like 2 months to get up to speed. This has been a longer rehabbing process, so hopefully it doesn't take as long to get him up to speed. But all signs are pointing to the fact that it will, and he's probably not going to be a plus defender until the next year.
Yeah.
All right, are we done ranting on the Braves? That was a
This
pretty long.
this was a good therapy session.
I think we all kind of needed that in some different form or fashion for sure. Now we can go crap on another bad baseball team. No, I'm kidding. They're not bad, but Dogs lost a series to Bama at Bama this past weekend. We used up all of our runs in the first game by far. We run ruled Bama 19-3 on Friday, and then the rain struck and it didn't stop until Sunday afternoon, and then it started again Sunday afternoon. So we lost, I think the second game was like 9-3, and then we lost the third game 5-4, but it was a planned 7 inning game. So we were clawing back in that one. We were down 5-2, and then crawled back to 5-4, and then they were like, "Oh, game's over." And both of those Saturday and Sunday games had rain in the middle of the game, and I'm pretty sure it rained during the Friday blowout too, at least for a little bit. But we definitely used up all of our runs in that one. But it seems like we really only need one or two more wins to clinch a national seed. I know the magic number for SEC teams is usually about 18 wins, and I don't think we're going to need 18 since we're number one in the RPI. So I think our target is probably 17. But if we want to improve on seeding, I think sweeping the horrible, my God, they're awful Texas A&M Aggies, as they just got swept by the at one time winless Missouri Tigers. They were winless in the SEC after they played Georgia, and now they have 3 wins after they played the most talented college baseball team in history. So it's crazy how that works. But yeah, we got last series of the year versus A&M this weekend.
Yeah. Just looking at Georgia's record right now, they're 40-13 and then 16-11 in conference play, which, like you said, Jacob, I don't think it'll take very long for them to clinch a spot. I think, like you said, I I would just assume maybe one, two more wins, and then it's gonna be a done deal. But disappointing. Always disappointing to lose to Bama in any sport. It doesn't matter what sport it is. Absolutely hate them. But I think it's definitely the most troublesome series, just with all the rain that came in this weekend. I mean, I'm not gonna blame the series on rain, but offense got to show up. Pitching got to show up. Again, I've been saying this since I've been on the show. The Achilles heel of this team is going to be the pitching. How will the pitching step up? The pitching will determine if this team will make a deep run into Omaha. So, we'll see. Very disappointing. I mean, it's not a bad series loss. I mean, Bama's ranked, but you know, like I said, it's tough to lose to Bama in any sport, regardless.
Trey Phelps is starting to heat up too, which is
Yeah,
nice.
love that. Baseball is like it never ceases to amaze me how crazy the game baseball is because it will never make sense to me how you can beat a team 19-3 and then play that team two more times and not even be able to score 5 runs the rest of the time. Like
Dude, it's
it's
even crazier when you put it into perspective like this. We won 19-3 on Friday, and then they knew that the weather was going to be bad all weekend in Bama. So the second game literally started 30 minutes after the first game ended, and we were down 6-2 in the second inning. Like, how does that work at all? Oh, well, our starting pitching is terrible. They had Cole Acock out there throwing 83-mile-an-hour fastball.
that would be a good day if I could do that.
I was giving you the benefit of the doubt on that velo for sure.
There were several times out there during softball. I was like, "Dang, dude, I'm really unk right now because I'm like, oh, my shoulder that kind of hurt when I threw that ball." God,
I've heard I've heard that somewhere before. I can't quite put my finger on it. But we should get Zaborowski back starting in the SEC tournament, I do believe. And if not, I've heard that and kind of seen Wes Johnson doesn't really care about the SEC tournament, especially when you've locked up a regional and a super, hosting a super for sure. But it seems like we might be one of those teams that just kind of mails it in the SEC tournament and then just kind of take the extra rest and let our guys get healthy. And Zabo being one of those guys for sure. I mean, he was arguably the best hitter in the SEC before he got hurt. So getting him back in the lineup is definitely going to be major for us.
Yeah, agree. Definitely need Zabo's bat in the lineup.
Yep. And then in other news, other sports news, we got big week up ahead with the golf. We got PGA Championship, which will be awesome. We'll be at Quail Hollow this upcoming weekend. And then this past weekend, our boy Sepp Straka won for his second time on tour this year. Him and Rory are the only two golfers to win more than once. And he also, I think it's like 23% of all golf tournaments that have been played this year have been won by a Georgia golfer, with being Brian Harmon, Sepp twice, Russell Henley, and Harris English all having wins. So, I mean, just as someone who enjoys golf as a golfer and as a spectator, and obviously we all went to Georgia, so it's nice to watch those guys doing well. Just being able to look up on any leaderboard and essentially be able to see 7 to 9 different names that all went to your college. I think we're the only one that can do that for sure. I know I've seen all kinds of graphics. Like there was a graphic for the Masters. It was like by conference, like which conference has the most golfers. It was Georgia as their own conference. We had 9 people qualify for the Masters, so it's pretty impressive just to look at. But Sepp beat Shane Lowry, who unfortunately bogeyed the final hole, which was kind of detrimental to him because he was playing right in line with Sepp, and then he just bogeyed 18. But kind of felt bad for him. Kind of didn't at the same time. I want to see Sepp take off his hat, get the cue ball going. It's pretty funny. If there's anyone bald, just white because you've been wearing a hat for the past like 4 days nonstop because you'd be sunburnt to a crisp. It's pretty. You got that tan line, the halo. It's kind of cool.
shout out Sepp Straka, great stuff. Obviously, was rooting for him. You kind of feel bad for Shane Lowry too because they were throwing up the graphics. Are like last individual win was the 2019 Open for Shane Lowry, and after watching the full swing season 3, seeing Rory and Shane Lowry's kind of dynamic, kind of grew to like him a little bit. But no, always gonna root for my dogs there, and the, we shift the focus to the PGA Championship. And dude, I was looking at some of the yardages for these holes. So I think at Quail Hollow, there's only like one par 3 that's under 200 yards, and there are two par 5s that are 600 plus yards, and I'm pretty sure one of the par 5s are like 650. So, I mean, that you've heard it everywhere, like that's going to favor the long drivers. So I cannot wait to see Rory pull out driver, and I mean that's just going to be such an advantage for him because I mean he's going to be swinging for the fences, a pipe, and at 350. So. Um, Good stuff there. But yeah, I think Scotty's currently the favorite. If I have this pulled up here, he's plus 400, and then Rory right behind him at plus 450 with Bryson as the third at plus 1,000. So, um,
Bryson wouldn't be a bad bet there because he's the only person that hits it longer than Rory.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Good win for Sepp. Always gonna root for him. JT came in second, and then Shane Lowry. I thought Seb played really good on Sunday. Definitely needed it for the crowded scoreboard. So congrats to him. But I'm really excited to watch the PGA Championship. If I was a betting man, I would probably bet on DeChambeau just because I like his odds more. And obviously like you guys said, Quail Hollow really plays well to those long drivers. So Rory's going to be up there. Bryson's going to be up there. Any of the guys who hit the drive really long are going to be contending over the weekend. So if I had to make a pick, I'm going to go with Bryson DeChambeau. I think he kind of gets rid of that choke at the Masters, and he wins the PGA Championship.
Don't hate that pick, but through 50 rounds among qualified golfers, Rory's gaining almost a full stroke more than he should against his expected performance on just strokes gained driving off the tee.
So, if you wanted to sprinkle a little Sepp Straka back-to-back action, he's plus 6,500.
Sneaky, sneaky. I would probably sprinkle a little bit on Ludwig Oberg. I think he's probably one of my favorite golfers to watch. So
I like
I
that
would
one too.
sprinkle a little bit of money on Ludwig.
Ludwig Übig. Just kind of finishing up here. We got a couple rookie minicamp videos we can react to. Most notably being Shador throwing at 130-yard in the air pass. Did you guys know that I was there? I was at Brown's rookie minicamp. I saw it. He threw it from walking out of the practice facility to into the other end zone, which is almost like it was 220 yards in the air. Did you guys see that video?
Bro, I was actually there. I actually thought it was longer. So
How long did you have it recorded as?
260.
Dang, Cole, I know I saw you sitting there in the crowd. What about you? I mean, he
So,
was
actually, that's funny you should say that because the next day I actually was at the Steelers rookie mini camp and I actually saw Will Howard. I didn't get it exactly recorded, but he was pretty close to that same number. So, and he didn't have the breeze on that lake that Cleveland does. So
dude,
he's
you
actually
you
going
not
like
remember?
yeah, they're actually faced into the breeze, so he actually threw it that far into the breeze. So
You sent me the video of Will Howard inside the practice facility. He it was indoors. We get it. He broke the roof of the practice facility and then threw it 120 yards after that. Do you not remember that one?
yeah.
That was unlike anything that I had seen before.
This is what scouts said Anthony Richardson did at his pro day. That's why he ended up being the fourth overall pick. At least that's what they would make it seem whenever, yeah, he hit the roof. So,
That one Zach Wilson pro day throw.
Zach Wilson BYU tape,
yeah.
unreal.
I
Jake.
wonder, rookie minicamp is always interesting because I'm always going to be looking for the newest Jamar Chase can't catch take. You know what I mean? Remember Jamar Chase's rookie year? There was this whole thing. It's like Jamar Chase is dropping all types of balls in rookie minicamp. Is he a bust already? So I always look forward to these because you're bound to see one where it's like, okay, so rookie minicamp really doesn't matter at all. So um
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, at least not for some of these guys for sure, but both Falcons' first round picks have officially signed their deals. James Pierce got 16.8 mil a year, and then Jalen Walker 20.86 a year. James Pierce actually just signed this morning. I was very, elated when I saw that message because he was the only one left to have not signed. Uh, you could say he was the only one left in the Shamar Stewart realm of not signing, but at least James Pierce has participated in all rookie minicamp activities even before he signed. Even the little videos with the what's it called, the social media coordinators. It's funny. I like seeing those. Those make me happy. But yeah, Shamar Stewart still has not signed his deal and still has not participated in rookie minicamp yet.
Um,
Three and a
That's
half career sacks, by the way.
Yeah,
In
it's really
college.
tough on the Bengals, man. You really, I feel sorry for them, you know. Sucks. You know,
I'm so glad we didn't take him, dude. I thought there was a chance that we would too. He's just, I don't even
A
know. It's
diva.
one thing to say like one of those Georgia edge rushers like Trayvon Walker had he's got no production in college. Well, he still had like 6.5 or 7 sacks in 1 year. Shamar Stewart has 3.5 career sacks at Texas A&M through 3 years.
Yeah, good luck Cincinnati, because that is essentially going to be your Trey Hendrickson replacement, and you just got a hell of a lot worse on that D line. So, very glad the Falcons did not take him, because I thought he was going to be the pick at 15. And shout out Carolina and shout out New Orleans for being dumb.
Yeah, I think Cole, we might have your Jamar Chase can't catch take written down right here. Is it Mason Graham can't hang? Mason Graham throwing up every third step he takes in rookie minicamp, which is notoriously like not a super ridiculously hard workout by any means whatsoever.
this reminds me of the Jalen Carter Pro Day, where you remember Jalen Carter huffing and puffing at Pro Day, and they were like, "Is he out of shape? Is he this? Is he that?" So, um, I would love nothing more than for Mason Graham to be bad, because of course I don't like the Browns, but just gonna wait and see before I make any takes on Mason Graham throwing up, because we could find ourselves another, yeah, like you said, Jamar Chase take. So we'll see.
Last thing here before we wrap it up. I gotta cook Josh Pate for a second. I thought he was my friend. I thought that was my boy, Josh Pate. I loved his content for about a year, but he has earned himself back on the block list, unfortunately, for his sake. Not like I actually care. But his post-spring rankings is what I'm looking at here. Just some pretty nasty shit, if I'm gonna be honest with you.
Do you want to?
What?
I was say, do you want to pull it up on the computer here? Because I
I
would love
think I
to have a
might be able
visual
to.
here. Because
Do
yeah,
you have it? Do you have it
yeah,
up?
yeah, I do.
Yeah, you can share yours.
Okay, let's go here. Share screen. We'll go with right here. All right, you see it?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So, post spring 2025 rankings. So immediately right here, I mean, we got Clemson.
We
Um,
got we got questions 1 through 20.
Immediately Clemson. Okay, very questionable. He's been very high on Clemson, and like I'd say I'm pretty high on them too. Like, yeah, okay, they won the ACC. They have a lot of first round draft picks and like a bunch of 2026 way too early mock drafts. Cool. Um, they have Penn State third. And then Oklahoma, okay, Florida 9, Oklahoma 10. Okay, this is my first time looking at this. There, I don't know where to start. There's so many, like, whoa, 11 Georgia.
Even all
That
the way up to Georgia Tech, Texas Tech. I mean, I kind of understand what he's doing here by ranking Clemson and Penn State so high, knowing what they have at quarterback. They have 5 stars, third, and I mean, Kate Klubnik's been there for like what 5 years. I know Aller's entering, going to be his third year of starting. I think Klubnik probably his fourth, but probably fifth or sixth year in the program. I mean, you're ranking them high because you know what they have at quarterback. And then the two in between them, Texas and Bama. Why are you ranking them high? You have no idea what they have at quarterback. Literally none. I mean, if you want to rank Georgia that low because, again, we don't know what they have in quarterback, Gunners played more and arguably played better than Arch Manning. At least he played in games that meant something. I mean, we get it. Arch Manning can put up 42 points against Mississippi State. Cool. He can put up 40 points against Louisiana Monroe. Okay. I wouldn't discount my boy Cole Aycock being able to go out there and put up 40 points with Texas roster against UL Monroe. Whatever. But then, no, you don't know. Who does Notre Dame have at quarterback? Why are they so high? Who's coming in to replace what's his face at Oregon? Dylan Gabriel. Oh, is that Dante Moore?
Yeah. Hasn't
We don't know
played.
anything
Didn't
about
play
him
his
either.
1 year at UCLA.
Yeah. I mean, Ohio State, don't really know. Florida is like, you know what you have at quarterback, but you've also seen that team play for like the last 4 years, and the rest of everything else and the coach is terrible. Like, what are we doing here? It's just the most inconsistent of rankings. I can see why some teams are there, but then you have a rebuttal with the teams literally one spot below them as like you ask the same question. And it's like, why are why are they there and what the hell are we doing here?
Yeah, this list reminds me so much of that infamous Desmond Howard just atrocious college football playoff pick where he had Texas A&M, Pitt, Baylor, and Michigan. He had Texas A&M winning the Natty. Like this rivals the same amount of just terrible rankings I've ever seen. Like like sure, man, like Clemson plays in arguably the worst arguably it is the worst Power 5 conference in college football. I mean, congrats. I mean, Clemson should easily win the ACC. Or I wouldn't say easily because I think Georgia Tech could sneakily
Yeah,
win it next year.
they got to play 17th ranked Georgia Tech, dude. Come on.
They get to
Uh,
dodge us, finally.
yeah, yeah. I'll take that back. I don't think Clemson will easily win it. I actually think Georgia Tech will win it,
Oh,
um, but
that's hot.
Texas, just stop, just stop. I mean, UGA, which you have at 11, owns them. They beat them twice last year, and hell, if they played them in the playoff, they probably would have beat them a third time. Because I wasn't a fan of Quinn Ewers. I'm still not a fan of Quinn Ewers. I think one of my hotter takes is I think Arch Manning is very much overrated. I don't think he'll do well against any Power Five team that Texas plays this year, including UGA, which I don't think he'll play well at all against at UGA. Penn State, I mean, sure, I guess. I mean, Drew Aller, I mean, I sure. Alabama, I mean, Ty Simpson, you don't know what you're gonna get with Ty Simpson. I mean, if Milrose stayed, I would imagine that Alabama will probably be lower on this list. I don't know why they're number four. I mean, I don't get that either. LSU hype needs to stop, man. I don't. I think Garrett Nussmeier is so overrated, and I don't understand why he's ranked so high on all these lists, and why he's the Heisman favorite this year. I don't think he's. I think he's pretty average when he plays against real teams. So I don't understand the LSU hype at all. I'm not a Brian Kelly fan either. I don't think he's that good of a coach either. Uh, Notre Dame, I mean, sure, I guess. I mean, they made the Natty last year. I mean, I don't. Anyone besides Jeremiah Love, I don't know who's playing quarterback for them. I don't know the receivers. I really haven't looked at Notre Dame. Oregon, sure. I mean, as long as Dan Lanning's there, I feel like they could be ranked higher. Um, Ohio State, I mean, coming off the Natty, Julian Sand, who's a huge, highly regarded, I mean, not highly regarded, but highly recruited quarterback coming in to replace Will Howard. I thought Ohio State would probably be ranked a little bit higher in this ranking. Um, Florida, DJ Lagway, sure. Oklahoma, I don't understand it. Um, and then finally UGA. I don't like. I don't know if Josh Pate just hates Georgia or what, because I don't understand why Georgia's ranked this low. but like below teams like Notre Dame or like Florida or Oklahoma or hell even Texas, who they beat twice last year. Like I don't know, I don't get it. It's terrible. That's really all I gotta say. Awful.
Also, very, very confusing thing. So I remember watching one of Josh Pate's episodes, and he made this take. He says that Clemson has might have the best wide receiver room in the country. Can you name
Antonio
three?
Williams.
Can you name three Clemson wide receivers?
I got
No.
Antonio Williams, and I guess maybe Antonio Williams.
I know they have Bryant Wesco, who was like a highly rated recruit last year, who was like one of their better receivers last year.
And then they
And
have Dalen Everett's son, Antonio Williams.
yeah, so yeah, all around confusing. So
9 and 10 is what sets me ablaze, dude. Like, how many brain cells do you have?
Georgia Tech should be ranked higher
you
in my
know what?
opinion.
This is kind of inspiring us. We need to come out with our post spring top 20 or top 25, and because as real ball knowers, we can showcase what a real top 25 should look like.
Different than this.
This looks like when you simulate a couple weeks in your college football 25 dynasty, and
Yep.
like this is what the rankings are.
Yeah.
Looked like bro just set up like a dartboard of like the US map and just threw darts at it and just hoped one sticked and that's where he would put his rankings at.
I mean, like, is it by colors? Like, what are we doing here? Like, I like their campus, or is
Their
it
mascot's cool.
mascots cool, stuff like that? Texas Tech would have to be higher for sure. They got the
Yes.
Red Raider.
And also
Um,
shout out Josh Pate for giving Kirby more fire. So, when Georgia goes undefeated, I'll come back to that post and just laugh. So
come
shout out
back.
Josh Pate.
Yeah. Yeah, that is bad. I hate ending the show on a bad note, but at least it was somewhat of a funny bad note that we can all know for a fact that we're going to be able to look back halfway through the college football season and call him one of the dumbest bald people to walk the earth. But I feel like generally most bald people are pretty smart. I don't know why. I feel like it comes with wisdom. The numbskull comes with the wisdom. But I don't know, man. Josh Pate has earned himself a spot on the block list again. Will not be tuning into any more videos until at least the end of the football season if he starts saying reasonable words again. Well, that's going to do it for the Gridiron Pulse episode 12. Thank you guys for joining us. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share us on social media in any way that you see fit. Peace.